Hi, welcome to VNN, our discussion series number 18, and we have today, as usual, in the hot seat, Ambassador Praveen Verma.
Thank you for keeping it hot.
Anyway, Praveen, one thing I wanted to ask you now, suppose now this Ukraine, all this noise going around the world, the propaganda war is heating up, accusations of Russia doing this, Ukraine doing that. Suppose
Yep.
you were India's representative at the United Nations. What would you do there? What would you tell them?
What the current permanent representative is doing basically, our position is quite clear. We have said that we should do away with atrocities and violence, and it should be discussed out and a solution may be found out. Point is that we have, right from the very beginning, India has been asking for cessation of hostilities and discussions to solve the problem. But the problem which you are trying to hint is that what about our taking sides?
Yeah, because I mean that's the Western media, as I say, is India is sitting on a fence, and it should not be doing this. And for a long time, they have to fall on one side or the other.
Why? Is it a rule that one has to fall on the other side? When we were a non-aligned country, around 70 or 100 countries were non-aligned at that time, and they were not sitting on this side or the other side. Now that non-aligned is not there, there is still a semblance of countries which are still not
Yeah, I mean
aligned
it's
to
not
any
just
side.
not just India. I think many other countries are also.
If you see this last resolution on Human Rights Commission,
56 countries abstained.
56 countries abstained and 24 were against. So it was only a matter of 7-8 countries who had on the positive
Right,
side.
right.
So that way, what Russia has done, and Putin has to some time or the other,
Yes, to
they
answer.
have to discuss and sort out the problem. The war has gone on for much too long.
42 days now.
And
Yeah.
casualty is a common man, the people. And things have gone expensive, and Putin has even threatened that all your sanctions will affect the poor countries because food will become expensive.
Yes,
It will
and
be a
this-
food security thing, because I understand both Ukraine and Russia together control around
The wheat and
30 to 40% of wheat supplies and about 20 to 30% of corn supplies to the world. At present, one is not feeling it because it's already in the pipeline. But next year, what happens when the 30% of your wheat supplies are not coming in? Prices will go high. Common man will suffer. And who will suffer? The developing countries will suffer. So actually, Putin is asking the developing countries to side with him.
That's true. That's true. Now see, there is on April 11 the U.S.-India 2+2 dialogue that's going to start now.
Yeah.
And I think Jaishankar and Rajnath Singh are both going to come to the United States. I think the Ukraine will be one of the main items on the agenda.
Again, the Americans will try to take the pound of flesh, because we are also trying. Earlier, during the non-aligned times, India was seen to be directly
More
aligned with
to the
the
Russian.
Soviet bloc. The whole non-aligned bloc was considered to be a B team of the
Soviet Union, yes.
bloc. But post non-alignment, India has been taking independent positions on various issues. But then it has started diversifying its strategic interest in all other parts of the world, with the Japanese,
The US,
the Brits and the US. And we have seen, from Modi's period, there has been a steady increase in interaction with the Americans, and we have developed understanding with them, and we want to continue with that. And that's why this 2+2 and 3+3 and whatever it is, the bilateral VIP exchanges, bilateral, keep on happening, so that we keep on our relationship with America intact. Whereas on the other side, we don't want to do away with our relations with China,
No,
with
Russia, yeah.
Russia. So
And now,
that is a balancing act, and if one is able to balance properly and not fall, what's wrong in it?
That's true. Now, another report said that AUKUS, the US, Australia, and England, Britain, they are going to start research on developing hypersonic missiles, which I think only China and Russia have those.
Well, development
And space warfare. So I don't know where things are
all
going
new
to.
avenues are opening up in the international what you call competition in both in security, in space, in cyberspace, in conventional space, sea space.
Interesting. Another thing is this, is Lithuania. That's at the forefront. Lithuania and China are at loggerheads so many things, and I think China recalled as ambassador or something, and now Lithuania is also attacking Russia. Every day there's some verbal statement coming out. The Russia is this, Russia is that.
I'm not following that. So I'm not don't make what you.
Yeah, I think. I mean, this is a small country. I don't know what consequence it has, but or they must be being told to do it.
Maybe it's a Scandinavian
Yeah, it's
country,
a
so it's basically an old. Lithuania would be an old Soviet.
Yeah, it was, yes. But strange thing, Finland said it will not stop coal imports of Russian coal. Hungary said they will not stop, but they will start trading in ruble. Germany said no stopping it now until August when they will think about it. So
Again,
how does this sanctions affect them? And they want India to act on it?
That's the whole question which we also keep on asking, that in international politics, basically your domestic interest takes the
Precedence
predominance,
over.
and or your foreign policy is directly related to your internal needs. Now,
Right.
if these countries do need the Russian energy supplies, what can they do? And they have to see their survival also. As it is, Europe is suffering much more than
Oh,
America
yes.
is
Yeah,
suffering.
yeah.
The
America is not
whole
suffering.
war center is in Europe.
Yeah.
So they are suffering, and all these energy supplies on which entire Europe was dependent on Russia. And Russia knows this point.
And Putin keeps threatening nuclear war. That's another problem.
That is a deterrent which a nuclear power has to.
Yeah, but I mean, recently there was a projection of what could happen. Even a small mistake, maybe Russia says Ukraine has used chemical weapons in Donetsk or something. Russia could use a tactical nuclear weapon. Then NATO will hit back with something. Then the US will step in.
Saw that
projection, yeah.
That projection.
As 180 missiles.
It's disaster when
The whole Europe and I think northern hemisphere will be wiped out.
You see, they were talking of immediate casualty.
Yeah.
What about the after
Yeah,
effects?
98 million in 4 hours.
If you are not affected directly by the nuclear holocaust, you are in the next few years. You will otherwise also your blood vessels
Everything
will
will
sort
go.
of break up, and nobody will survive.
And then maybe if you hide in Mauritius or Seychelles or Maldives, will they survive? Possibly. Some of them.
You see, as Einstein said that whatever Third World War may be fought with, the Fourth War will be fought with sticks and stones.
Yeah, it's true. Possibly, yes. Anyway, interesting thing in Pakistan, Imran Khan wants to come back, or he's been asked to reinstate the parliament and ask a vote on Monday. Today, isn't it?
He tried to tamper the ball, number one, then put in a bouncer.
Correct.
But unfortunately, the umpire said no ball.
And I think the Supreme Court googly came in now.
No ball, it's straight.
It's no ball, yeah.
The deputy speaker's
now-
resolution was not constitutional, and therefore today is Friday. By
Monday. It's on Monday, I think.
by 9:30 in the night, he has to take the confidence call.
So that will be a go for a 6.
This guy is a smart guy. I don't know what other aces he has got up his sleeves.
Yeah.
But knowing Imran, he would try to still do something, but I don't see any future. I'm not.
I think he's gone. He's finished.
I think he's gone. But from outside itself, I don't know, because the new government will come in. Either Sharif's brother or
Bhutto's son. I don't think so.
Bhutto's son,
No. Mariam, his daughter, maybe.
His daughter or his brother. Either of the two. Brother was the most likely.
And of course, now, yesterday, the Pakistan government, this morning, they said Hafiz Saeed, the criminal mastermind of the Mumbai attack, he has been sentenced to 31 years in prison, and all his assets have been attached. How far this? Is this a farce? As usual?
Bajwa is looking at relaxation in those that grey money
Of the FATF. I think they may be scheduled to meet very soon.
I think that would be one of the reasons why this guy has been jail. But jail for him doesn't mean anything.
If he live in a
We've seen
mansion.
him jailed before and then out on bail.
Palatial
Even
mansions.
in jail, he's there in a palatial house and controlling his activities from inside the jail.
Will he be drinking some wine?
I don't know. I don't know. Not in public.
Not in public,
Not
yeah,
in
of course.
public. He cannot do that.
Anyway, Sri Lanka, of course, the crisis is it's lurching from one day to the other. The Rajapaksas and the
Rajapaksa
Gotabaks
clan.
yeah,
You
they
see,
are in,
I
they seem to be in trouble now.
They seem to be in serious trouble, and of course, India has been trying to help them out.
I
on
mean,
various means.
medicines and
Medicine,
diesel,
food,
fuel,
money also, I think
yeah,
that
yeah,
money has
1.5
also
billion in credit, and I don't know, but
But
where does China stand in this thing? That's the problem.
China will extract their pound of flesh. As it is, their investments have become non-starters over there. So people, I think, I think and I hope they have realized that Chinese investments have done more harm than good for their country.
And Pakistan too. The
Both the countries are in economic mess because the projects which the China started, the
costing billions, and it's all white elephants with no use any
no
of
use
those.
at all. So that way, and then one thing which the Sri Lankans were sort of held up because of they banned all
Fertilizers, yeah.
So that was another thing which economically
Aggravated
affected them. And then slowly with the shortage of money and all their projects collapsing out, the country has found itself in dire state. So you've got two of our neighbors in total disaster economically, and both are looking towards IMF for support and reviving them.
And he's asked for another 1.5 billion from India again. So I don't know how much can India help.
I think India would do a little bit. We need.
But surprising, isn't it, that in all these countries, I mean, Bangladesh is standing very firm, very firm, steady.
Their industries have taken up.
And they're now a very steady government. Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. Yeah, very good.
Some economic parameters, they stand above India.
Yeah, they're above India, yes. I know. And Nepal, of course, now I think there's a thaw in relation. They are also realizing that this the Chinese connection is not so good.
Not so good.
I mean, that link.
But that's wishful thinking on our side also.
Yeah, of course. We
also
should be
want
careful
them to
again.
think of that. But then there has been some sort of a movement in sort of bettering of relations between Nepal and India.
Big news in Canada, the budget has been passed, and what do you think of that now, the new things?
Budget, but NDP is happy, and they say that
This is an NDP budget. That's what Candice say, or the Conservative Party says. NDP budget.
You see, this is the first budget after the understanding has started. So obviously Trudeau had to bend a little bit, but essentially Liberal government is a left government anyway.
Yeah, but now
And,
it's
uh,
more,
tilting
a little more to the left.
But here smartly what he has done is all his projects, he has said so many billions of
Billions,
dollars.
yeah.
Billions of dollars, but projected in 5-year terms. So this year I don't know how much will come, next year how much will come. So all their projects, the dental care or the housing or the defense, they are projections of long term. So how much will actually be achieved as far as NDP
In the next 3 years?
3 years, let's see. We'll have to.
What are the big takeaways? I mean, what do you think? Dental care, of course, that's what Jagmeet Singh is.
NDP's favorite, yes.
NDP is obsessed with that, and the Liberals are obsessed with climate.
Yeah, child care and housing.
Child
Just
care,
today we heard that foreigners are will be banned to purchase
housing,
property
yes.
in
But that's
Canada.
a period of 2 years, so I don't know how that affects. And in non-recreational properties, so recreational they can still go
Then
buy.
they also planned some tax rebates for first-time buyers so that they can,
and they can
save
save
some
to
money.
40,000 is
40,000
nothing
or
much when
something.
compared to the cost of the homes.
For a first-time buyer who's trying to buy 40,000 itself is a large.
No, but they have to save the 40,000 without as a tax-free.
That would be you see the total cost. Out of that total cost, there'll be some tax-free expenditure. So ultimately, that money would come back to them. So if you're buying a $500, $1,000 house,
what can be the solution? Is the government buildings? I mean, that would be faster and easier, cheaper.
You see,
Governments have build entire colonies like the Chinese did, huge buildings and apartments.
if you have an NDP government, you'll have to have that's the communist
That's, I think, yeah,
manifesto.
that's what,
Housing and food for everybody at the government's cost. But that's not
can't
easy to
work here.
provide. It's not workable. You've seen it in communist countries and Western countries. Where
Yeah, massive complexes of buildings like in China, you see,
China and USSR, yes.
kilometers and kilometers of just housing.
So that is not something you expect in a
No,
developed country. So
And
that is a solution. What is being done and what should be also done is to build up the economy in such a way that the young and the new first-time buyers are in a position to buy.
And there could be, I think, speculators are kept out. I think the prices will be adjusted. It will
That's
come
why
to the
you see the prices, the recent price hike in at least the Toronto market
speculators.
was quite first of all speculation, and then the foreign buyers.
Foreign buyers is a flipping business. So that's
And the flipping business is again a business, but foreign buyers is straight away money which is not accounted for coming in, and I'm told much payment in cash also was happening. So that is where
that could be money laundering. That's what it
could be
means.
money
Cash
laundering
payments and
so housing is a function of development of the economy itself. The only thing is you can tilt it a little bit towards newer purchases and purchase for the younger people who can get into the market. At present, what's happening is that the younger people are not able to get into the market.
Yes. And they have to depend on their parents.
Parents, yes.
And their parents of their ATM machine. You have to bank on those. And what about of course, some good things about the ocean protection? That's all, I think, the liberal agenda. The climate changes, liberal agenda.
Diversity and inclusion and indigenous reconciliation. Money has been put in for all those things also. So there is a positive side of the budget also. But the follow-up is the main thing which is to be done. And secondly, where is the money coming from?
That is the thing. It becomes a big deficit budget. Isn't it? Who will pay for it later?
You and I. Who else?
And people like our young Ansh, who is here behind the camera. He has to get his home. You'll have to pay for all this later.
Think twice when you vote for NDP.
Can't say that now, of course. It's his choice, isn't it? China. The Omicron variant is spreading, COVID is spreading again in the home of the COVID. And in Canada too, in Ontario, cases are going up, have more hospitalizations, there are more people in the ICU. What's happening? Is it because the mask mandate has been removed and that's the main reason?
You see, the schools have opened.
Yeah, a lot of schools,
have opened.
100 students in one school, 103 students.
Yeah. So cases keep on adding up. And this new variant is again much more infectious.
But they say it could be milder. We don't know.
But what happens is that people are not getting too sick. That's the whole better part of it. And second thing is that nowadays, like in schools also, students are not identified as who's being infected.
Yeah, so they don't know. They won't know.
Suppose somebody has a mild infection and he goes to the hospital, they throw them back. Go back, take your Tylenol and relax at home. Take your test and relax at home. It's basically nowadays COVID is being treated as a form of pneumonia or any other flu or something, where you cure it yourself. So we are not getting the exact numbers as how many are being infected. But if you remember, a study had come from the wastewater analysis.
They found COVID, isn't it?
They found COVID and they said the numbers are around 100,000 in Ontario daily, whatever count it is, I am not so sure.
So I think even if you have a headache or a cold, it could be COVID, sore throat.
Yeah, the sore throat. Basically, they've given out 5 symptoms, and if any one of those symptoms is there, you should immediately test.
Anyway, now the government has said we'll have to start taking a 4th shot. Those above 60 can start applying and get their 4th booster shot. And again,
the caveat is that third shot or the fourth shot doesn't prevent you from
That is
getting
the
COVID.
that is the thing. Maybe it should miss
Having
it,
COVID once also doesn't prevent you
No.
from getting COVID again.
but it won't be as serious
So,
illness.
the whole thing is that you won't get a serious illness. So you take this like every year you have been telling
The
you right
flu
from the very
vaccine,
beginning. Everywhere you take a flu vaccine, now you'll have to take a COVID vaccine. Something like that will happen, and you'll have to do the thing.
Anyway, I think that was interesting again. We'll continue with our discussion next week,
Next week,
and the discussion number 19 next week.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you, Bala. Thanks.
Anyway, thank you for watching. Thanks again.